What's going on, everyone? This is Blake, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down how to know when is the time for you to hire an executive or virtual assistant and what steps you should be going through to get started with that process and make that decision itself. So I'm going to cue the intro now, and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive right in. So as we dive into today's topic, when it comes to hiring and getting started with your first virtual assistant or first executive assistant, there's a few important things to keep in mind. Based on experience of myself, when I first hired my first assistant, to be honest with you, I did it too early within the process because I felt that I needed it. Because I felt bogged down with what I was doing each day, and I felt like there was too much for me to do and not enough time to do it. So I think first and foremost, an important thing to keep in mind is to go through this exercise that we're about to dive into now and take an honest look at what you do day to day. And before you even go and hire that executive assistant or virtual assistant, always look at the tasks that require low energy, low skill, that you can offload and get off your plate. And before even delegating it to an assistant, ask yourself how you can delegate it via automation. I'll be coming out with a second video on this topic where we talk all about automation and implementation behind that. But more than likely, there's a lot of things that you can automate within your business without having somebody else do it manually. And that's the very first place to start, because now you're not actually having to pay for an assistant as well. So if there's one thing that I know based on my experience with hiring, onboarding, and working with a variety of different virtual assistants, it's that if you don't have a clear set of objectives, a clear set of tasks, and enough to actually fulfill the time that they're working for you within, they're going to get bored, they're not going to be focused, they're not going to ultimately be as efficient as what you would like. And you quickly realize that, hey, I really didn't even need to hire an assistant, because what I could have done first is automate and get everything off my plate that can be done autonomously, and then from there go to an assistant and take that next step when it's needed. So as we dive into the action steps along with today's video, the first place that you're going to want to start is to pull out an open Word document. Feel free to do it right now as you watch this video if you'd like, and start to write out a list of tasks that you do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. So I highly recommend starting this list today and adding to it over the period of the week, because you're likely going to think of new small things that pop up that you do on a daily basis, especially if you're bogged down with a lot of tasks. Now, for example, what I have filled in here is the example of, let's say you are a Facebook organic marketer. So I threw in some basic common things that you would do within Facebook organic marketing, such as priming your Facebook feed, writing content, publishing content, adding friends, sending messages, etc. So what you want to do to start, to identify if you need an assistant and what the very best thing to get off your plate is first, is start with this list. And the benefit of starting with this list is going to be the fact that even if you don't need an assistant, even if you're below 5K, 10K a month, what this is going to do is help you become aware of how you're spending your time each and every day, each and every week, and each and every month. And it will allow you to visually see, hey, I'm wasting my time doing these things. I need to wipe them off my plate, and I need to shift my focus towards these few things. Because especially if you're below 10K a month, what's going to get you to 10K is shifting your focus towards the small group of the right activities that will make the biggest difference. Not doing a bunch of different things, hoping that it will give you more exposure or put you in a better position. But to be honest, based on experience, I know that if you can narrow your focus to the most important activities, your business will grow exponentially. So start with this list, fill this out. Once you have the list in place, the next step for you to do is to come in and basically score each of these tasks based on the energy and creativity level that it requires. So for example, writing content. It usually takes, at least for me, a good amount of energy and a good amount of creativity to write strong content. I have to be in the right headspace to do it. Whereas priming my Facebook feed, scrolling through and dropping comments on posts, I can do that without really needing to be dialed in. I can do that late at night. I can do that early in the morning as soon as I wake up. And I don't need to be dialed in when I do it. So that shows me that, hey, this is really not a high energy task and does not really demand much creativity. So I'm going to score this lower and put a 2 next to it. This will help you break up and say, okay, what are the most energy and creativity demanding tasks? And what are the tasks within my business that don't require much energy and aren't very creativity demanding? Once we get this list in place, next we're going to jump over to here. So as we dive into this, I'm going to explain each and every element. But again, if you want access to this, if you're watching this video right now, click the link below this video. You'll see a link that allows you to claim this sheet right here. So you can print this off or pull it up on your computer and use this. I'm going to give you the direct link to this whimsical template so you can plug away with this yourself. So with that said, looking into this, there's 4 boxes that you want to distribute your task list into. So when we look back here, we see priming your Facebook feed. It was scored at a 2. So if we look at these 4 boxes, is priming your Facebook feed something that you don't like doing but you're good at doing? Something that you don't like doing but you're not good at doing? Something that you like doing but you're good at it? Or something that you love doing and you're great at it? For me, priming my feed probably goes right here. Things that I don't like doing but I'm good at doing. It's a hard thing to not be good at. So that's where that task would fall for me. Now we can look back here again. Now publishing content, or writing content especially, this is a 5. Because this requires high creativity. It's something that I want to keep within my wheelhouse. I want to maintain control of as the main person behind the brand itself that I'm building. And this is a task that I know is something that I actually enjoy doing because I love sharing my story and I love impacting others and I love helping move people, basically showing them that, hey, this is where you are now and this is where you can be if you take these steps. So I'm all about documenting my journey, providing a bunch of value within my content, just like I do here on this channel. It's something that I really love doing and I feel that I'm great at doing. So that task for me would go into here, and it wouldn't be something that I delegate because I enjoy doing it and I want to maintain a part of that. And that doesn't mean there's not aspects behind creating content that I could delegate. For example, maybe I love creating YouTube videos, but I hate creating the thumbnails. But at the same time, I'm good at it. And this is a prime example of myself. I enjoy creating graphics, I enjoy creating thumbnails, but I also know that it takes up a lot of my time. So more than often, I sometimes have a designer come in and do those thumbnails for me because I know I'm better off spending my energy that way rather than trying to add another thing to my plate and now create thumbnails on top of everything else. So once you have these 4 quadrants filled out, now it's time to look at these boxes and say, okay, these are the things that I love doing that I'm great at. These are the things that I like doing and I'm good at. These are the things that I don't like doing and I'm not good at. And these are the things that I don't like doing and I'm bad at. The ones down here are the ones you want to get off your plate first. Because these are the things that are draining your energy, draining your time, depleting your creativity, and making you feel drained as a whole. But the things in these top quadrants are lighting you on fire a lot more because you enjoy doing them. You know that you're having an impact when you do it. It's within your own unique ability when doing these things. So you want to continue to do them. And when you get a list of activities that you're doing daily to the point where it's all within your unique ability, you're putting yourself in a position to naturally be highly energized, to naturally have more creativity, to be fired up, and to love what you're doing because you've been able to simplify what you do on a day-to-day basis down to the things that you enjoy doing most and that you're the best at. So keep this activity in mind, especially as you continue to grow your online business. This is something that I do every single quarter. I come back to this list and I'll add in all the tasks that I have in my mind that I do. And then from there, I will create what I call SOPs or standard operating procedures for these tasks. I'll shoot a Loom video and I'll say, this is how I add friends on Facebook. Or this is how I prime my Facebook feed. I'll shoot a 5-minute Loom video. I will send that to my assistant. I'll have her make an SOP for it. And I will delegate that task because I know it's not within my unique ability and it's better off getting off my plate so I can focus on the higher level things that light me up the most. So that is a wrap for today's video on how to decipher what it is that you need to get off your plate first and whether or not you need an assistant to help you delegate those tasks and get things in motion. Now remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, always start first and ask yourself, what can I automate within this to get that off my plate first so I'm not having to pay for an assistant or pay for somebody else to come in and do it for me. And again, always remember that if you're below 10K a month, you likely don't need an assistant. You likely just need to be more aware of what you're doing day to day and make sure that you're focusing on the right things. That doesn't mean that you can't outsource graphics. That doesn't mean you can't outsource small stuff along the way to help free up your time and allow you to focus on what matters most. But the first step in making that happen is becoming aware of how you spend your time. So I highly encourage each of you watching this video, whether you're below 5K a month, below 10K a month, or you're at 50K a month, deploy this exercise within your annual routine. Do this quarterly if possible, and start becoming more aware of how you spend your time each day so you can ultimately regain control of that time, shave hours off your week, and step into a position where you're doing the things that really light you up the most. So if you got value from this video and this was helpful to you, be sure to hit the thumbs up button below and show some love. If you have any questions on what I went over, drop a comment below and let me know, and I will work to get back to you as quickly as possible. And last but not least, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button before you head out so you're not missing out on any future videos that I drop. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.